Hello and welcome to FPL Mates, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2021-22 season. My name is Dan and today we're talking 4.5 million midfielders. Now a lot of you guys will be saying, what does this matter? 4.5 million midfielders? What a boring topic. They are not the big hitting, exciting players. Well, I want to talk about Salah. I want to talk about Bruno Fernandes. And fair enough, but if you're as much as a FPL geek as I am, you know, I like geeking out over 4.5 million midfielders because pretty much all of us have a 4.5 million midfielder in our team. You know, when we look at the 4 million defenders, none of them are going to get very much game time. If we look at the 4.5 million strikers, none of them are really going to get very much game time. So the 4.5 million midfielders are actually the players who actually provide some really nice cover on your bench. And pretty much all of us have one. So it's really important to pick the right one. So that's what we're going to talk about today, guys. And if you do enjoy this video, please do leave a like and please do subscribe if you love FPL just as much as I do. But before we get into the video, I do want to give a shout out to Fantasy Football Hub, who are kindly sponsored this video, but they're also the provider of all of the stats that you will see in this video. And this is one of the reasons why I love Fantasy Football Hub, because you have this Opta stats tool that I use obsessively, where you can pick certain parameters for players. I can just select all players worth 4.5 million or less. I can look at the points per game. I can look at the shots per game per 90 minutes overall in the season. There's so many ways to adjust the tool to make it work for you, which really is so useful for getting a really accurate depiction, because with the 4.5 million midfielders, some of them have played a lot more games than others. Some have had injuries, all kinds of stuff like that. So it's really, really important to try to get a really in-depth Opta stats tool where you can analyze all of the stats in a really, really concise way. So I love Fantasy Football Hub, and you can get 25% off using my link FPLMate, or go in the description. There's a link right there in the description, and yeah, just click on it. You get 25% off. Why not? Just yeah, if you fancy it, go for it, guys. So my first 4.5 million midfielder is Douglas Luiz. Now I'm going to be going through my 6 favourite 4.5 million midfielders. I don't think you should consider any others that are not on this list, really. I don't think they're any really worth considering. But these are the 6 most interesting ones for sure, for 100%. And we are starting off with Douglas Luiz, who was more popular last season, to be fair. He has, compared to the 2019-20 season through to the 2020-21 season, he has dropped back. He's playing a little bit deeper, which kind of makes him slightly less, we like him a little bit less this season, which is why I've put him first, because we are going to work towards my preferred options later on in the list, and then we're going to analyse them all and do a direct comparison. But yeah, Douglas Luiz, bit of a yellow card magnet. He's playing deeper than he has done in previous seasons. He's got 0.79 shots per game, which is okay for a 4.5 million defenders. 0.58 key passes per game, so he's taking the odd long shot, not very high quality shots really, and making the occasional progressive pass, but not really too much to get excited about. But he is at least worth considering, I guess. I don't really like the way he blocks off your Aston Villa assets either, because you can only have 3 players from each team. Do you really want to waste one on Douglas Luiz? I don't know. Probably not. Next up, we've got Morgan Gibbs-White, who is, actually really interesting. Really interesting. Risky, but interesting. And that's what I'd say about Morgan Gibbs-White, because he is actually, whereas a lot of 4.5 million midfielders, the reason they're so low price is because they're defensive-minded midfielders. They're defensive midfielders, but Morgan Gibbs-White is not a defensive midfielder. He's actually an attacking-minded midfielder. He's kind of fairly versatile. He can play central midfield, attacking midfield. He can play on either flank potentially there as well. He has done last season. He started 3 of the final four games for Wolves last season, so 3 out of 4 starts. That's not bad at the end of last season. Is that kind of indication of him playing a little bit more? There's rumours of Neves leaving. We've got João Moutinho, who's getting a little bit older, obviously. Is this going to mean that Morgan Gibbs-White is going to get his chance in the first team? Quite possibly. And now his stats are really good per appearance. He just didn't make very many appearances, but 0.91 shots per game, that's not bad at all. 0.45 shots in the box per game, which is very, very good. For a 4.5 million midfielder to get pretty much a shot in the box off every other game, that's quite nice. 0.73 key passes per game, that's very good as well to have so many key passes. We do like that. But how much game time is he going to play? I don't know. Probably, it's really risky. I don't know about this. If he plays every game or most games, he could become a genuinely good asset. Not just a good 4.5 million midfielder, but he could beat some of the 5 million and the 5.5 million midfielders as well. So it actually could be really nice for a really good cheap price. But I'm not sure he's going to play. We'll see, I guess. Next, we've got Billy Gilmore, who kind of has the same problem in the sense of Is he going to slot straight into this Norwich team straight away? I know a lot of you Chelsea fans in particular, and there's a lot of you guys who follow me, I know that for sure. You are going to be keeping a close eye on Billy Gilmour, but the fixtures aren't great at the start. I don't know if he slots straight into the team. His game time is not going to be as good as some of the other players on this list. And I don't think he's quite the right type of... Maybe I'm wrong here, but I don't think he's quite the right kind of player. He's more of a second assist kind of player rather than a getting assist kind of player. He's obviously a great passer, but he's deep lying. And, you know, he's a kind of a metronome kind of midfielder where he passes it about, you know, he takes the ball, passes it on, keeps possession a little bit. Rather than being directly involved in attacks, he had just 0.2 shots per appearance last season, 0.6 chances created per appearance as well. No big chances created, but again, not very much data at Chelsea. So I think Billy Gilmour is kind of a wait and see. If you get to your first wild card and you need a 4.5 million midfielder and Billy Gilmour has looked really good, that's kind of the point I'd probably go for him, to be fair, but I'm not sure about going for him straight away, to be honest, but maybe some of you guys will have slightly different opinions on that. Next up, I've got Oriol Romeu, who was injured a lot of last season, to be fair, which is kind of, maybe he's dropped off the radar a little bit because a lot of people, when they're looking for their 4.5 million midfielder, they just search by who got the most points last season out of all the 4.5 million midfielders. I don't blame you guys. I used to do that when I was not as into Fantasy Premier League as I am right now. But yeah, when he's fit, he's pretty nailed. He's pretty nailed on. He'll play at the vast majority of games, you know, probably 35 games in a season, so he's going to be playing pretty much every game. 0.67 shots per appearance, that's pretty good. It's not too bad. 0.67 key passes per appearance as well, and 0.14 big chances created per appearance as well, which is, you know, obviously 0.14 big chances created per appearance isn't amazing, but it is the best on this list. So there are some good opportunities for some creativity by Romeu there, which is why he stands out and why I'm kind of putting him on this list. We've got Bissouma now as well, assuming he stays at Brighton. Now, Brighton have some really nice fixtures at the start. He is nailed on. He does take up a Brighton slot, so if you've already got, you know, maybe Sanchez in goal, Lamptey in defence, do you really want to waste your third spot on Bissouma when potentially you might need to downgrade Tony to a Welbeck, for example? Welbeck could start off really well and Tony might not do so well, and you might be forced to go for a Tony to someone like Welbeck, or more pay, or, you know, someone in midfield. Maybe Trossard does really well at the start of the season, you want to go for him and you're locked out of it because you've got Bissouma. Could happen, potentially could happen. But Bissouma, he is one of the better options, that's for sure, and I think a lot of people do agree with him that Bissouma is one of the best options to go for as a 4.5 million midfielder. But due to his kind of high ownership, he will often also drop in price. If things don't go well, returns are unlikely for 4.5 million midfielders at the best of times. But if things don't go particularly well for Bissouma, he drops out the team, he gets a couple of yellow cards or something like that, people are going to be selling him. And because he is so highly owned as a 4.5 million midfielder, a lot of people are going to sell him and he is going to drop in price, which might actually lock you out of some of the other transfers you want to make. But Bissouma did make 1.17 shots per appearance last season, which is top of all of these 4.5 million midfielders I'm talking about. So he takes a lot of shots, which is really nice, and mostly long shots. And then 0.44 key passes per appearance, which is pretty low, to be fair. But in terms of shots, not bad. Not bad from Bissouma. And, you know, goals are what gets the real points, right? And finally, we've got Josh Brownhill, who ended up last season playing actually a slightly more advanced role. He's probably the most attacking guy in the three-man Burnley midfield. I think everyone would probably agree with that. We kind of got Westwood and Cork as the deep-lying midfielders. So when Burnley set up with just the lone striker, Chris Wood up front, then behind, we're talking about Josh Brownhill going there. So he's pretty good in terms of he's quite an attack-minded 4.5 million midfielder. Like, come on, we say an attack-minded 4.5 million midfielder. We have to set the standard somewhere. But in terms of 4.5 million midfielders, Brownhill's not too bad in terms of his attackingness, I guess. He also occasionally fills in as a winger in that Burnley team. He has a pretty good goal-scoring record in the Championship, to be fair. Pretty productive in the Championship, so can he convert that kind of play to the Premier League? I don't see why not. He is yet to score in the Premier League, but he did score in the League Cup last year. He also scored twice in a recent friendly for Burnley, you know, proving that he is one of the important players in the attacking play for Burnley. He got 1.03 shots per appearance. That's really good as well. You know, get to take a shot per game as a 4.5 million midfielder, not bad. 0.39 shots in the box per appearance as well, which is first amongst all the high play time 4.5 million midfielders. no one takes as many shots in the box as Josh Brownhill. And finally, 0.58 key passes per appearance, which is okay. It's better than Bissouma, at least, I guess. So it's not too bad. But overall, Brownhill's looking really nice. So, to summarise all of these players, obviously Gibbs-White, he's got the best per appearance stats of any player on balance. If he can get himself playing regularly, I think he becomes the best option. The problem is, he is unlikely, he's kind of the least likely of all of these players to get game time. He's probably going to get the least game time of any of the players on this list today, so that's where the risk kind of comes in. Is he really going to solidify a spot in the starting lineup? I don't know. I'm not really convinced by that, but it could happen, and if it does, he becomes a great option. Bissouma and Brownhill, they lead the way in terms of shooting. Brownhill just edges it, although he doesn't take as many shots as Bissouma. Brownhill's quality of his shots are a lot better. You know, they're more in the box. They're more high-scoring opportunities, you know. Romeo is the most creative player on the list, but there's not too much in it in terms of creativity between the players, and Romeo offers next to no goal threat there as well. But overall for me, Brownhill takes it. He's going to start nearly every single game. He has the best chance of scoring goals other than Gibbs-White. But, you know, if you take it across the whole season, Brownhill will have much more game time and therefore more likely to score because he's playing more games. His creative stats, they beat Bissouma, and you know, they're only really beaten by Romeo in terms of the guaranteed starters in this list. He provides the best balance whilst being nailed on. He may continue to play in that advanced role that he did at the end of last season and how he's done in friendlies as well, with the one-man strike force, I guess. And I truly believe that Brownhill is the best 4.5 million midfielder. There you go. There's the conclusion, guys. Thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy what you saw today, maybe you thought it was a boring topic, but I would really appreciate a like anyway. It really does, you know, help the channel out. I personally love 4.5 million midfielders. It's that one slot in your team where you can just have a little bit of fun, look through who is actually going to be the best there. And although they may never be needed, if you ever do need them, it's really important to get the right player there because that can actually be the differential of your week. To be fair, you know, if your 4.5 million midfielder has to come on, they could actually end up being a differential for your week. And I have seen it before where people have taken a real march just by having to play their 4.5 million midfielder for whatever reason. They've had to play that player and suddenly they've got a huge rank boost. We've kind of seen Dendoncker get like 10-point hauls in the past and you know, examples like that. It does happen. Douglas Luiz a couple of seasons ago didn't do too badly at times of the season, and it was actually an okay 4.5 million option. So yeah, it happens, guys. Definitely worth thinking about at least, and hopefully this video did help you out in your decision making process just a little bit. Of course, subscribe if you're new. You want FPL content pretty much every single day. You know, you like FPL as much as me, you probably do. So do subscribe. And aside from that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later, mates. Bye bye.